A very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining in today's webinar. Sorry about a little bit of delay here, and there was some confusion with sending out the emails, as I already mentioned. I apologize sincerely, and we hope this doesn't happen in future. For the ones who've joined in, thank you so much, and for the ones who've been waiting from 2:05 or 2:01, the moment you got the email, thank you so much for showing your support. It means a lot to us. So as you all can see on my screen, the topic for today's webinar is Bank Connect, Speech2Txt, Email Insights, some DailyDigest and Invoice Deletion. So these are some new features of uLaw that was launched probably in the previous quarter or a little before that. But there are a lot of us who are still not putting it to good use, we feel. So I just thought I'll repeat this topic we did once in the previous quarter, and I thought I'll repeat this topic for this quarter as well. And we actually have more new features like ask for help and other things. So I thought I'll also showcase that to you in a demo today. I'll probably wrap up the session at 3 p.m. But over the first 15 to 30 minutes, I want to focus on these few topics and then move on to more new features. So I know today a few of you are here, but I'm not sure how many of you are aware of these features. But if you are using Bank Connect, great. If you're not, uLaw has partnered with a third-party solution called Plaid, and we are connecting your bank accounts, both Trust General, actually your credit card as well. And we import transactions into the program. Of course, you have to take action to complete those, but I will definitely walk you through how it's being done. And this is the idea behind connecting your bank, is to simplify the process of accounting, of course, to make it look more easier for you. And also at the same time, less time is consumed here, as your bank, you're allowing the Bank Connect to do 3/4 of the job, and you're doing only 1/4 of it, of taking action and posting it under the right ledger. So that's a very key thing about Bank Connect. And moving on to the next one here in agenda, we recently had a new AI-based feature, which is converting your speech into text. Again, I'm not sure how many of you noticed this. So this is available under each matter where we docket to do the invoicing. And the docket actually has something called event title and description. So event title is generally what we give it as a simple one line, one word, or maybe maximum one line. But description, most of us like to describe the whole event, what happened in there, what drafting was done, what other activities was done. So that's a whole part of description, right? So now in today's world, no one has that much time to sit and type in, let's say, 30 characters, 40 characters put together for 2 lines or 3 lines. So that much of time constraint, and AI being, such a revolutionizing thing in today's legal industry, we in uLaw actually being one of the first legal practice management softwares to introduce AI in here, we thought, why not speak into the mic, which is your computer audio, and uLaw will recognize and convert that speech to text. So this is called Speech2Txt. Of course, I'm going to show this to all of you when we are doing our, further into the presentation. And of course, we'll be doing this as part of the demo in the uLaw account. And moving further on, we have email insights and daily digest. I'm not too sure how many of you have subscribed to it. Some of us don't like too much of information. Some of us actually like a lot of information being popped up, giving us insights, giving us knowledge about how everything is going on. So email insights is nothing but giving you an idea of what is happening in your business at your fingertips, literally. Otherwise, you're not going to have too much of that information in your fingertips from anywhere else. But for uLaw, making an email and sending you all the information and maybe pie chart, diagram, or, maybe different methods that we use to describe the business health and also business intelligence, letting you know what are the invoice balances, what are the, AR, what are the pending invoices to be raised, any trust transfers that's been pending for a while, all such information. And the fourth feature as part of today's agenda, being one of the most important, I would feel, something that has been benefited to all of them, who's been reaching out to support, who's been reaching out to our client success team, who's been reaching out to our bookkeeping team, different times of the day where people will be like, hey, Gayatri, I'm looking to delete invoice. How can I do it? So until I think this was introduced sometime end of 2022. So until this feature came in, it was such a nightmare for people who would make a mistake in invoice and try to rectify it, but all that you could do is discount or reverse. And, we were like, all right, okay, this is something that I'm not satisfied, but our development team went a step ahead and said, okay, this is what you want and take it. So invoice delete feature was something that probably one of you had requested, and, we had it in there. So when you go into a matter, there's an action tab. That action tab, the last point is actually delete invoice. There are a few things to delete invoice though. It has to be in the same quarter. You have to be an admin. We'll discuss all those points as we go further into the presentation, and I also show you all of those. So that's what we're discussing today over the next 40 minutes. And for the ones who've joined in a little late, just want to let you know that today's session is not accredited for any CPD credits. It's a regular webinar, but thank you for staying here. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for showing your support. It really means a lot for people like us who sit here on 2 p.m. afternoon and take this over. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. All right, so quickly going in there and looking at Bank Connect. What are certain points to remember about connecting your bank with uLaw? Number one, this is point number one, and it's very important. Please turn off your two-factor authentication. Now, a lot of them ask me, hey, Gayatri, so if I turn off my two-factor authentication, I'm not sure how my bank is going to react. I'm not sure how, I'm going to function without, let's say, an OTP being sent or whatever it is. But trust me, there are two things. If you turn off your two-factor authentications, when you can connect bank with uLaw. That's because if you have two-factor authentication in place, there is no way we would be able to get in at some point in time without your help getting the two-factor authentication from you and pulling out the bank statement. Just imagine us trying to log into your account or your online banking through our partner plane and trying to fetch a bank statement at 1 a.m. in the night. And do you think we'll be able to bother you with a two-factor authentication? No, right? So That's probably why it is, of course, one of the reasons why we always request you all to turn off the two-factor authentication at the bank level, and make sure when you're connecting to the bank. So Bank Connect happens from your accounting screen. We have action over there, administrator, and you will see connect to bank. When you're connecting to bank, you will see 3 bank accounts: trust, general, and the general bank again is a credit card. You need to make sure that when you are clicking on that center icon, which is a Bank Connect icon, which is just a bank symbol, you just have to literally, click on that, connect to the bank, and make sure that you're connecting the appropriate bank account. As seen in the screenshot here, where you see trust was connected to checkings, general was connected to savings, business credit card is connected to RBC Played credit card, right? So bank transactions, again, can take up to 24 hours to appear after connecting your bank. So sometimes each bank works differently. So let's say you are part of this particular bank, which does not allow you to connect to the bank immediately. So they take you up to 24 hours. Some banks connect literally immediately, and you can have the transactions entered in no time. And one other point to remember here is under Bank Connect feature, all that we are trying to do is add your withdrawals and expenses. Now, don't try to think that, deposits, all the fee and income, I can just record it by connecting the bank, importing the transactions. No. Again, the Connect Bank feature is very, very similar to your import CSV bank statement. Both are done only for the purpose of adding your withdrawals or adding your expenses, income, or any other deposit into trust or into your general. Either of it are only being added manually from the respective client's accounts. So money that always comes in mostly are client related, either into trust as retainer or into general as client payments or any other trust deposits or any other payments, right? Whatever it is, it just directly goes into the client's trust or general from the client matter, and there's no need for Bank Connect over here for the deposit purposes. So connecting the bank is only going to allow you to add withdrawals, any expenses, bank transfers, and other debits. Nothing to do with the credit. So just these 4 points, if you all could remember, I think Bank Connect will be done swiftly. And moving forward, how to initiate Bank Connect and benefits of Bank Connect. I think we already spoke briefly about it in agenda, but let me tell you what it does. So obviously you're in the accounting section because you cannot be in matters while you're doing this. Please make sure you're in accounting section and you click on action, you click on administrator, then you click on Connect Bank. As you see here in the picture, you don't have to be an admin. You don't have to enable yourself to be an admin or a record admin to do this. So once you connect the bank, using, of course, your online credentials, then you authenticate uLaw to connect to the bank. You're basically giving the gateway permission for us to access your online bank so that we can easily import all the transactions, download the bank statements for you in uLaw itself. Don't even have to go into your bank online to download one. And most importantly, let's say you have accountants, you have bookkeepers who are working on your books, and they're all being given their separate accounts. and you can control the permission and allow them to also access data for Bank Connect for the reconciliation purposes, which will in turn save you a lot of money, a lot of time. There's no more manual data entry, and at least for the expenses and withdrawals, which, otherwise you will have to be doing manually, or you have to import a bank statement in the CSV format. So you can avoid all of those, save the time of at least going into your bank, downloading the CSV statement, coming back into uLaw, uploading it, and taking action. At least you're saving 2 steps over here, and that's quite a bit, I feel, when compared to connecting to your bank. So connecting to your bank is straightforward, one-time thing, as long as, now I'm telling you one time, as long as you are turning off your two-factor authentication. So what happens when you have your two-factor authentication? 2 things. One, we will not be able to pull out your bank transactions. So because of that, it'll ask you to retry to connect again and again. So make sure that you turn off your two-factor authentication, then connect to your bank. You will then see the magic. Trust me, honestly, Bank Connect has been such a savior feature to quite a lot of people who are sole practitioners, who are small firms, who have bookkeepers working remotely, for so many people, for so many various, or for various reasons that people find Bank Connect such a boon, and they don't even think twice to remove that two-factor authentication. You can always have security questions or any other format, right? But it's about having your two-factor authentication removed so you can connect to your bank and progress well by following all those points that we've discussed so far. Quickly moving on to next topic of our agenda, which is really one of the exciting ones that uLaw launched. We proudly call ourselves one of the first legal practice management in Canada to bring this AI, using AI, how to docket, how to convert a simple speech to text, which totally eliminates the need for you to type. How nice it is while you're obviously talking to your client or whatever, you could just simply record the conversation and convert it to text. Becomes 2 in 1. Just imagine that you're saving further time to do that. So and try to do it yourself and see how much time you save. So that way you can judge yourself and start using that particular feature if you have not been using one. And revolutionize, of course, I think doing it all is good, but doing it under 39 Canadian dollars a month is not easy. So that's something I can proudly say my firm took a great step doing it. So Speech2Txt is a very nice feature, which is not very complicated, but at the same time, which is, very handy and, easy to use and convenient, and most important of all, a little fancy that it's easier to access and you'll be able to complete your descriptions in no time. There's obviously more individuality, and because we can, like I said, proudly to say one of the first companies to bring AI into the legal industry, and about innovation, how AI to convert to docket from speech to text. Our software also does it bilingual, so it's there for both French and English, so you'll see both. And there's a lot of instances here. You'll see that AI helps lawyers reduce time, which again reduce their efforts, which will reduce their cost and overall docket rather than typing. So it's a lot of changes that occurs in one place. And how do you access this though? So if you all see here on the screen, right into the matters, which is into any matter for a client. You are in this place where you're adding a description. When you click on your description box, there is a description box that pops up separately where you can type it in. Right now, there's a record button there. So you have to make sure you enable your mic to use with uLaw. Once you record it, then you can, once it gets completed, then you can click on speech to text to get this converted. As simple as that. So for the ones who are not been using it or who have not been using it, I request you to try this feature, as there's so much that went behind it, and I would like each and everyone to benefit from it and see and give your feedback. Happy to always have feedbacks from people like you who's helped us develop our products. So kindly try it and let us know how you feel. So one of the next subtopics of our agenda today is email analytics and insights. Now, first thing first, if you are someone who have subscribed to this from your settings permission, allowed us to send an email, only then we send this to you. If you have blocked this by giving no to this permission setting, we would have definitely, not bothered you with those nice insights of your business, giving more updates. So what does subscribing to uLaw InSights do? We send you emails with regular updates, with new information every week about health of your firm and business intelligence, other reports that will help you save more money and also help you build a better practice. I think I myself use email insights for my playground account, and it's nice to see the messages or emails popping up every Monday, every Wednesday. You could just set it up on non-quote days or on non-busy days and see how it looks at your end. It's nice to know what is the invoice balance that is not collected, how much the client owes you, if there's a pending trust transfer. It's so nice to see that you have to receive money, you'll have to move money, and such things, right? So nice over here that you have all of these information that's being generated by our AI and shared with you due at the specific day when you have requested from the permission under settings. And if you see under DailyDigest, this is something that you can customize yourself to have it only Monday to Wednesday, Monday to Friday, just on Mondays, or you can take a call. So subscribe to uLaw DailyDigest email. So as soon as you wake up, literally it's 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, you'll see these emails popping up with enough information. It would give details such as what time is your appointment today? Do you have any meetings? Do you have any schedules? Do you have any dockets that's not being invoiced? Such things, right? So lastly, moving on to invoice delete. Definitely, out of the 4 subtopics rather today, everything is my favorite, but my 2 top favorites that I personally voted to my development team myself and said that this is something that people will be really happy about is Bank Connect, which is going to obviously save you a lot of time importing transactions, doing it yourself. And another feature is invoice delete, because you don't have to work around things anymore. Just that a couple of things that you have to have in mind. Number 1, you have to be on an admin mode. And number 2, the invoice has to be in the same quarter. And number 3, when you have raised an invoice and collected a payment, or you already have a retainer in that account, then obviously you'll not be able to delete an invoice because you already have the money into that account. So why would you want to delete an invoice? That's the kind of question we have. But there are things that we can work around it. You just have to, at such instances, I only request you to reach out to us on support@ulawpractice.com. And I also have a brand new feature that talks about how you can ask for help without having to type an email. We'll get to that in probably 5 minutes when I'm showcasing uLaw to you. Now, invoice delete, how do you get to this? Where does it happen though? It doesn't happen from accounts, even though invoice is probably found under AR. You won't be able to find the actual invoice under accounting. So the actual invoice is still under the matters. Under action, you find delete invoice. Before you do that, kindly make sure you're in admin mode. You're on admin mode, you're an administrator. To enable yourself to be an admin, all that you have to do is go to accounts, go to action, go to enable admin, and you'll be able to see it, okay? And once you have it in place, then you go back into matters, you go back to delete action, matters, action, delete invoice, and then you will see how you see this, release docket, delete posting. So once you release docket, you'll be able to delete posting for whether it's disbursements or whether it's legal fee or whatever it is. Okay. So here are more points that I'd like all of you to make note of. So what is it to be kept in mind for invoice deletion? Number one, please, of course, have your entire legal invoice examined carefully before it can be deleted. Okay. Sorry, I'll have to pause here for a moment. I have a nice question from viewer number 3. What's the difference between reverse invoice and delete invoice? Okay, that's a nice question, really. So reverse invoice is that when you're raising an invoice, typically what happens is an AR gets created where there's an account receivable from your client. You have raised an invoice and there's a receivable from your client. And when you're reversing it, it just shows that you're discounting that invoice and there's no more receivable from your client, and it'll show as if that your client has paid that invoice, okay? You're basically recalling that invoice. That's it. So when you reverse it, you're providing a discount and you are saying that your client, ideally they didn't pay for it, but you're going to show in the books as if that credit and debit gets knocked off against AR. So reverse invoice is basically reversing that AR and having the accounts capture that discount has been given and the payment has been made, even though the payment was not actually made by the client, but the discount sufficed as a payment. Now, delete invoice is something that you can completely delete what you did from scratch. There could be a docket, there could be, a disbursement, whatever, and you would have by mistake entered that 1 hour of billing or that $100 of application fee as disbursement. You decided that you didn't want to invoice, but you by mistake invoiced it. So delete invoice is the right way to get rid of it because you don't want that anymore in there. You just need to delete it, get rid of that, and do a new invoice altogether, right? So that's the difference between reverse invoice and delete. And I request you to always contact support and ask us in such cases. It's clear enough, but if you feel there's a little bit of ambiguity to it, always contact support. They might have some expert knowledge that they can recommend you to do it in this way or that way, which will enhance, obviously, your invoicing method. Thank you, viewer number 3, for the comment. I am glad I was able to explain. So invoice delete is a good feature, but I think it can also be misused. So what are certain things that you should keep in mind in order to not misuse the invoice delete feature, or in order to not, uh, in order to make sure what to do the right thing in there? So legal invoices should, of course, be carefully examined before it can be deleted. And since legal invoices, unlike others, handle trust funds, so it's not a office expense that you can get rid of easily, right? So these handle trust funds, so you need to carefully examine before deleting stuff in it. And uLaw examines the complex life cycle of the invoice, then determines if the invoice has not been paid in full or partially paid via trust or general funds. So you need to understand what really happened in that matter, whether the funds are in trust or in general. Should I remove the funds, then remove the invoice? So depends on the dates. There's so much that goes behind it, but make sure that invoice is apparently, tested and everything is good before you go ahead and delete the actual invoice. And also, most importantly, the HST and GST. That's why I said it should be as part of the same quarter. You should not just like that delete an invoice. If your invoice is part of the previous quarter, please make sure to do it. And other than that, if it's part of the previous quarter, obviously you'll have to, it should not be deleted because then your HST and GST will be affected. In that case, we'll have to please contact support and we'll have the experts help you over there. We'll have some work around it. And initially, it's also important that your invoice meets all Law Society and CRA guidelines before you're kind of considering to delete. So please make sure as part of invoice delete, it's nice to have invoice deleted in no time, but it's also to abide certain rules and regulations, which are what we just discussed. So please make a note of it. I have some nice links here. I just hope I can post it for all of you, but maybe unfortunately I'm not able to post it right now. But what I'm going to do after I stop sharing the screen, I'm going to post these links on the chat window. These are all videos, blogs about how, what are the important things about the topics that we discussed today. And I want to probably share it with all of you. Thank you so much, Steph. Thank you so much for doing that. Steph has already shared the links. I just request each one of you to use this. And thank you so much. All right, let me quickly stop sharing it over here. And for the ones who are not uLaw users, I request you to sign up for a 30-day free trial. For the ones who are probably using it and who have a lot of friends, new entrepreneurs, new lawyers, new paralegals, who are looking for a new program, please refer us to them and you'll be, given your token of love, gratitude in form of a gift card. But it's just not that. It's about spreading the good things. It's about, having our community grow into a nice big sector. So I request for those who use it, who love it, please refer us to your friends. You can email us. You can, Stuff will be sharing those links where you can refer a friend. She's already shared it. And I request each one of you to participate, help us grow, and you'll have a part in it. So thank you so much for being here today. But the last 10 minutes, I'm going to take a chance to show you all how it works in uLaw. So this is my uLaw account. Okay, so the first thing first I would want to do is show you all Bank Connect. So go into accounts. So Bank Connect is for common accounts. So go into accounts, go into action, go into administrator, go into connect bank. Here you have Bank Connect symbols. This is where you will have to click on and connect to your bank. And once you've connected to your bank, then you'll be able to create your own transactions in there, take action and do it. So I have my 3 bank accounts connected, trust to trust, general to general. So whenever you drop down after you've connected your bank, please make sure you drop down, because it's just one login credentials that you'll probably have for 2 or 3 bank accounts, trust, general, and credit card. Only one online banking credentials. Just make sure you're adding them all together. And once you've added them, all that you're going to do is, let's say you have nicely connected everything, then you've submitted it. Once you've submitted it, this is what happens. What if you have more than 3 bank accounts? Nice question, viewer number 3 once again. We can only connect up to 3 bank accounts. If you have more than 3, you'll have to manually enter. Even for that, I have another thing. So what Bank Connect does is simply click on Import Bank Statement. When you click on Connect Bank, obviously all your transactions show up. So this is what happens when you have 2-factor authentication not turned off. It'll say try Bank Connect again. So let's say for this one, I've turned it off. It'll nicely connect to my bank, pull up all the transactions. Whatever I have not imported, it'll say import already. Whatever I've already imported, it'll say already imported. Whatever I have not imported, it'll probably say take action. So let's say I want to take action for this one. Let's say it's an office expense. I want to put it under the respective header. Let's say I don't find the header. I'll put it under miscellaneous for now. Or you want to put it as a bank transfer, wire transfer, whatever it was, submit it. Then you proceed with the next transaction. It will say complete. So that's the plus point of Bank Connect. But viewer number 3, if you have more than 3 bank accounts and you're looking for connecting your 4th bank account, sorry, we can only do up to 3, but you have another choice of downloading a CSV format statement from your bank for your bank account 4 or 5 or 6, and just come in here and you'll have bank account 4, 5, 6 in the drop downs. You click on the respective bank, you choose the CSV file in there and which you've downloaded. Then you'll upload it. Of course, you'll choose the bank, RBC or Scotia, whatever. Then you'll upload it here. Once you upload it, then you'll be able to do the regular take action from there. All right. So that's Bank Connect for all of you. It does wonderful job, saves a lot of time, headache. Just imagine you going through ad expense payment manually, office expense, typing in the date, typing in sometimes even things like bank charges, meal, Uber. uLaw recognizes it as meals, travel, bank charges, and we ourselves put it under the respective ledgers. Okay. So please make sure that you are putting that Bank Connect feature to use. All that you have to do is turn off 2-factor authentication and get your bank connected. If you need help, we're there to help you. Please reach out to our team. Reaching out to our team, that's something I want to talk about. That's one of the newest features uLaw has. Just simply click on Ask for Help. Center of the page. You can record literally, you know what? I would like to talk to client success team or someone from support team for some help regarding my invoice deletion. And say convert speech to text. I accept. And it gets converted into, I'd like to talk to client success team or someone from support team for some help regarding my invoice deletion feature. Okay. So, and then you can say ask for help. Oh, my bad. Sorry. I clicked the wrong button, guys. So sorry about that. So ask for help and email uLaw client success team. There are two buttons here. I thought I clicked on this one. Okay. So email uLaw client success team is the one I just did. Okay. Ask for help with client success team or uLaw support regarding my invoice deletion and HST filing. Okay, I'll convert speech to text. Okay, now you'll see how it works with all email uLaw client success team, and within no time, you'll just see, and you can email it. Okay, I hope it's all clear to you. So we have two new features, which is ask for help on the top, which is email uLaw client success team. Anytime, any help, email us using this one. You can also click on help. There's uLaw support, email uLaw support. But we just thought instead of going into help and there's 10 other options, they're already confusing you. We thought we'll give you a nice one here, which is one of the newest ones. Then after that, you have something called ask for help. So that is nothing but, let's say I'm recording it, okay? How to connect bank with uLaw. Okay, that's what I asked. And I say ask for help. And it'll technically show me all the videos related to it. All right. So please note that there are two new features in here. And other than that, I feel that all your daily digest and other things can be accessed from permissions, settings, go into permission, and you can, allow reports and access to email insights and other things that you would like to have, emails sent to you. So subscribe for uLaw Analytics. Yes. So uLaw analyzes your data and sends you an email on InSights. It has learned every day from your account. Okay. So that's another one. And I'd like to show you all two more things. So, which is add new event, which is, let's say I'm, doing some drafting here, and I'd like to record this. Drafting completed on divorce and child custody. So let's say speech to text. I accept, and it's right here. You can save it. It will go on your invoice, and which will look much nicer, right? So as simple as that. If you look at this invoice right here, which I'm going to just generate, invoice, pre-bill, preview it, and you'll see this one docket with the description that I just spoke into the mic. Drafting completed on divorce and child custody. Within no time, I could just bring it in. And let's say there's an invoice over here, all of you, the previous invoice, the legal fee of $2,000. First of all, for me to delete an invoice, go to accounts, go to action, okay? I need to become an admin first. Now, many of them ask me, I'm already enabled on admin mode. No, that's not what it is. What we're saying is you click on this check mark to enable admin mode, or you click on it to enable. So you have to be on admin mode, okay, if you just want to delete an invoice. If you want to delete an invoice from previous quarter or something that is, having more than one quarter, which is obviously from previous or last quarter, etc., you need to be on Recon admin. Okay, so that's why we have two options here. You then click on action, then you say delete invoice, this is from the matter now. You all can see I'm right now in the matter. Action, delete invoice. I'm trying to delete invoice. It's not going to allow me to delete invoice. You know why? Because I've transferred money from trust to general probably for this client. There you go. Okay. So for this, again, you'll have to work around it. We have to go to accounts. I have to look for that invoice. Let's say I just find out Harry or Parker. Okay, it was just this invoice. Just remove the trust transfer. I just removed the trust transfer. Once I remove the trust transfer, then I will be able to delete that invoice. So all that I have to do is go back into Matters, click on Action, click on Delete Invoice, then I delete invoice. Now I'm able to delete invoice because I don't have the trust transfer anymore. I just got rid of that. So I can just simply delete it. It's all a brand new invoice. Now I can invoice everything together. I have 2 dockets. I can complete the invoice right here, everything together in one go, right? Then go back into uLaw and complete that trust transfer for that date. Okay, which is 11th of May. Ideally, I should have invoiced for 11th of May, but that's okay. I'll leave it as 12th of May. Electronic fund transfer, enter the reference number, and I just finished the transfer. As simple as that. Took me less than a minute. I mean, obviously, I'm now well aware of this feature, how to use it. Maybe if you're first-time users, second-time users, or fairly new users, reach out to support, always. It's nice to get help than wasting time sitting on it. Reach out to expertise people and they'll be able to help you, okay? So I think these are technically what I wanted to show in today's webinar. I'm just hoping I could communicate every single new feature that we have in uLaw from the last quarter. Any questions anywhere? I'd like to open the floor for everyone to ask more questions. Viewer number 3, I really liked both your questions. I think they are absolutely nice, and I hope I was able to answer both. Anybody else, any questions? I'll be happy to walk you through. There's going to be this recording available in our YouTube channel as early as Monday. So in the meantime, any help, any assistance with connecting your bank or with invoice deletion or with setting up the uLaw InSights with settings or to use those speech-to-text, anything, anytime, reach out to us on Ask for Help, and which is in the center of the page, and I'll be happy to assist you all with that. I hope there's nothing else. If there's nothing else, I'd like to wind up the call, keep the recording short. Steph, I request you to share some links. Guys, Steph is sharing some links on LawPay's offers, some useful links for following us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Please try to follow us on social media. Show your support. You're all uLaw users. We'll be happy to have you support us and encourage us and refer us to your friends. Most importantly, help us grow. And and if you have any suggestions, either for new features or for these features that you're technically seeing today, are all something that one or the other would have recommended, referred, or would have insisted. And we have it in today. We try developing the software every now and then. So I request all of you to vote for some new features, to vote for new webinars. Feel free to email us. Feel free to send us chats. We'll be happy to assist you all. Now, if there's no questions, I'd like to wrap up today's session. Thank you all for joining in. It was such a pleasure talking to all of you. I'm sorry for the delay. That email was sent a little late. Extremely sorry about that. We will make sure going forward it's not going to be so. Thank you very much, all of you. Have a nice day. Talk to you next week. Thank you.